Subway just released a new bread, the Ultimate Cheesy Garlic Bread. Let's hit a close-up. Okay, the sandwich is going to be an ultimate spicy Italian sandwich, but we're actually kind of reviewing the Ultimate Cheesy Garlic Bread. Features your choice of bread lathered and toasted with a mixture of garlic butter, Parmesan cheese, and mozzarella cheese. So in other words, you can get this in any bread because literally it's garlic butter and cheese, regardless of what the picture looks like. I'll get into that a little bit more in a moment. I went with the spicy Italian because I figured that would be the one to go with that wouldn't kill the flavor of the bread. For this review, I got 2 6-inch sandwiches. One I ate brand new. I ate that one right there in the parking lot. I didn't film it because I'm not filming myself eating in a parking lot. I've got some outtakes though where I'm just trying to accomplish this. I'm going to put somewhere amazing. So I ate one fresh and then I took the other one home because myself, I never eat Subway fresh. I always eat it sometimes 20 minutes, 40 minutes, 60 minutes, hours old. So I wanted to review it that way. I think you'll be surprised which one came out better. Salt, pepper, and oil only on this. No vegetables. Wanted to keep everything very pure just so I could taste the bread. Now here comes the review. For those of you expecting your shout out, it will come at the end of the video. Okay, I'm doing a sandwich for a review, but this is more of a bread review, as corny as that sounds. It's the Ultimate Cheesy Garlic Bread, and yes, I'm reading it. I saw this made. I didn't do a lot of research. It was all right there. It's on like Chew Boom. I'm looking at it right now. So I shouldn't have been surprised, but I still was. Because you walk up and you see the picture, and it looks like the cheese is interlaced through the bread, and then they toast the bread, and it's got like, I don't know. It's like cheesy bread is what you think. It's what I think if you look at the picture. Pull it up on Google. That's not the case at all. I also thought that the garlic flavor came from the bread. No, they just have some like garlic butter and she takes out this big old scoop of it. She slaps it down on the bread. She rubs it around like it's mayo or something. Then after they take the garlic butter, she then takes a fistful of like grated cheese and drops it on there. It doesn't look great. That's the Parmesan and the mozzarella. I went with the Ultimate Spicy Italian. I didn't add any vegetables, and for my condiment, I went with salt, pepper, and oil. That's what you got to do with the spicy Italian. Salt, pepper, and oil. I was really doing this as a test for the bread to see how it worked with everything. I may go back at a different date and try the meatball, but I didn't want the bread to get overpowered on the first try. I also did something I rarely do today. I bought a foot-long, and I walked right outside of the Pilot, which is a gas station, and it's in a truck stop. And I sit in the car, I did the close-up, a bit of it, and then I ate that sandwich, not on camera. So I have a grade in mind for what it tastes like fresh. This is now, I live like 3 minutes away, but when you don't have to do something, sometimes you're a little later. It is now 20 minutes since I made that first video. So we can definitely say the bread and the sandwich are a little less fresh. But that's okay, you'll get the opinion of the fresh and the opinion of the old. Personally, that's the first time I've ever eaten a Subway sandwich that fresh in my life. I don't eat in the restaurant. I always take it to go, and it's usually like hours later when I eat the sandwich, even though I have them toast them. I'm hesitant to see what the butter is going to look like after that long. Doesn't look too bad. Looks pretty much the same. I apologize for the low light in here. It's a work in progress. Toasted butter, cheese. I'm pretty much going to do a bite-for-bite thought recreation of what I was thinking as I was doing this in the car. I had one real fear after I watched her put the butter on. I said, oh, you know, it's not that I don't like garlic. Garlic is pretty all right, but damn, that's a lot of garlic. Let's see how that went. Bite one. There's an effect here that I hadn't counted on. Hadn't counted on at all with this sitting for about 20 minutes. I'll tell you in a second. Think about this. It was buttered, toasted, and then brought out. That butter has had time to penetrate the entirety of the bread instead of just being on the surface and running off like it did on the other sandwich. As crazy as this sounds, it's actually an improvement letting the bread sit for a few. It really is. The other thing is this. The reason I go salt, pepper, and oil on the Italian is the oil really brings out different flavors in the Italian meat that you would have never caught. It really bolsters it. In much the same way as the garlic butter is penetrating the bread and making it go all the way through, letting the oil sit on the lunch meat this long has brought it a little bit more edge than it usually has. It is literally a spicy Italian. That's a good thing though. Fresh, I give the sandwich an 85. It's fresh. The bread's good. The butter hasn't found its level yet. So it's trying to come out of the sandwich. It just feels like you're eating grease is basically where it's at. The cheese isn't as attractive. You can't tell if there's grease coming out of it or the greasy butter or both. Then you throw the Italian meat on there. It tastes way better than it looks. I gave it an 85. You'll either get this part or you won't. Sometimes food has to find like its place. Like sometimes you get something to eat and you know it's not quite where it needs to be yet. Like it's still on its journey, but you eat it anyway. In this case, I think the journey of this sandwich, the way I got it, and the way this bread is you need to give it a little time. I still recommend you toast, but give it a few minutes. You don't have to give it the full 20 if you don't want. But I'll say that is just outstanding because it has penetrated, still holds together as a sandwich and as a bread, but you get the full effect of the flavor. Fresh out of the oven, 85. 20 to 25 minute wait out of a bag. I'm going to go 91 with this. 91. There's a weird occurrence that happens with Subway when I do these reviews. Review's over. I've given this a 91. There's going to be a subset of what I call tourists. New people. They're just floating through to see one video. They never watch any of my videos. They just see a sandwich. They're like, ooh, a sandwich, I'll watch. Universally, these people have this comment. That's not a new sandwich. It's just different bread. That's right. And Taco Bell hasn't had a new item in 10 years. They just take the same 6 items and twirl them around and call them something different, but get away with it. For some reason, people are always very offended that Subway's trying to change at least the bread. So, I already know it's an Italian sandwich. But that bread, man, changes it. It changes it to something way better than what I've ever had. I've probably had a few hundred of these. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You can find us on all social media. Mr. Happy0121. Until next time.
Oh my.
Alright, here come those shoutouts. On the last or 4th Sonic video of the day the other day, if you will, as I was trying to get some things together, I noticed in the editing I was doing, there was a brief clip of me subtly missing my mouth with a straw. I kind of go in for a drink. I'm not using it for footage, I'm just shooting video and I was thirsty and I missed my face. It kind of summed up the way I felt at that moment, especially since I slowed it down to about 1/100th of the speed it should be. And I figured I would just put that on the end of the video, and then if something occurred to me, I would do a voiceover on the way out. I only used about this much and then ended up leaving about that much on. After a pretty long stretch, I realized it was still running, so I thought, I could chop it off here. Or I could just see if anybody's listening. So I'm going to give a shout out to anybody that proves they're listening still or still watching this thing long past when anyone should, if they will put the word mermaid in the comments. What do you know? They did. I was a little punchy by that point, but I believe I said something to the effect, the first person to put the word mermaid in the comments below will get a shout out. Well, Jack was the first person. He gets all the credit, Jack Spear. So A for effort, my young friend. Then, yes, I'm cheating, we had Kev E, who threw his in at the end. We had Howie Cat, who simply said mermaid. We had the Berkshire Bacon Lover. Go check out his channel. Berkshire, or Berkshire, Bacon Lover. If you want to go see a dude eat some bacon, I recommend him. There was Ed Gein, who added some witty wordplay to his mermaid. Last but not least, Brandon Hill, whose disdain for Sonic is only topped by my own. I believe I got everybody in. We'll do something like that more often. Not every video, but if you stay to the end or you pay attention, there may be something in there for you. I've even considered doing some prizes. Who knows? Because it's the people that actually stay to the end of the video. And I know not everybody always has time. I don't always have time. But that is what really keeps me going on this channel from a statistical standpoint. What little placement I do get with YouTube is due to the video's length. So if somebody lets one play all the way to the end once in a while, it really helps me out a lot. Comments help out a lot. Just every little thing you guys do, I want to recognize that a little more and, you know, get you guys some recognition, because all I do is sit behind a camera and eat food. You have to watch. That's the hard part. Last thing before I go, I'm considering doing a watch-along sometime in the next few days for the worst movie I've seen in 10 years, The Boy. I don't know how we do it, probably here on YouTube live, kind of like we watch the wrestling events. And what we would do is listen to it in our ear, watch it on the screen, have you guys start your movie at the same time, and then we'll talk about it. That's all I got. Do something nice for somebody today. Unless that somebody is George Takei. Get him there!